back here. Just went through the rollers. Guess that wasn't too good. All right, I think it works. Got this in here, and right now she's loose. And if I pull this collar, which is what you'd be doing if you flip the lever, I don't have it hooked up yet. Okay, it's over center, and now this thing is locked in here good. Can't get it out. I push it back. Alright, I think we have it. So all we got to do is work out a few little logistics here, and I think we're done. Stay tuned, and the saga continues. Alright, well now we're making the block for the pivot, and I guess I decided that I would drag out my face mill that came with this thing, and I've never used it before, so we're gonna find out how good this thing works. Hang on. Oh, that's sweet, man. I like this thing. Oh man, that is beautiful. That is leaving a finish like a mirror. Wow. Try 15 times. Something tells me I should have used this thing a long time ago. Wow. Yeah, I got some hacks on the ends, but that's nice. Real nice. Okay, well, I guess that's a success. We're just going to keep grinding on it till we get it. So, yeah. Alright, we got the block squared up, and now we're cutting out the lug. So, we'll just hog off a bunch of metal here and keep going. So for anyone who doesn't think these little machines can do stuff, that's a 50 thousandths cut with a 1-inch end mill. We're just melting the aluminum off of there. Not too shabby for a little crappy rolling foo, huh? Just need some horsepower, that's all. This is 100 thousandths deep cut, 1 inch wide. Well, it's the next day and we've made a little progress. Got my block mounted. Got a bolt in there right now, but she works. This is with it loose. I throw the lever. She's in there. So now what I gotta do two things. This here is the adjustment relative to the spindle, and that's what this little lever is for. So we got to cut some grooves in the circumference of this thing so that this little lever can drop in there and lock it when we want to. That would be unlocked, and that would be like down and locked. And then we got to put a grub screw in here, and I'm gonna have to drill a hole in this somewhere to get at that grub screw, because you can't open this door. Be interesting to see how they did the original, but in any case, that's the next thing on the list here. So we'll get this roundy thing in the rotary table. Okay, so the next thing we got to do is cut some grooves in this thing. And so I got the rotary table set up, and I got it squared up, and I got everything centered, and I got the piece in the chuck, and I've bopped it in so there's no run out or anything. And now what we got to do is figure out how to cut it. So what I did is came over here and measured the width of this, and it was 190 thousandths. So I figure I'll use a 1/4 inch end mill. And now I have to figure out how much or how many to cut. So a little math coming up here, but it's not so bad. We want to cut something like that. So I took the diameter, 2.99, make it 3, whatever. And if you multiply times pi, which is 3.14, you get the circumference of this in inches, which is 9.38 inches. Now, just as a ballpark, I said, okay, what are the maximum number of teeth I can put into this thing, which would make the tooth width 250 thousandths and the space between it 250 thousandths. And I figured that out, and I said, okay, that's not an even number. So that meant that the space between the teeth has to grow a little. So I picked 15, and I figured out that if I took all the holes and multiplied them out, I was using up 3.75 inches of the circumference. That left me 5.63 inches of non-tooth space, and if you divide that by 15, that tells you that the space between them is 0.375. So that's what it's going to look like. There'll be essentially teeth in this thing, and the width of the space is going to be 1/4 inch, the mill width, and the space between them is going to be 0.375. So just to prove that to myself, I set up my rotary table controller, and I basically ran this thing through with the pointer there, and I drew a square every place that it stopped, and so that is what it's going to look like when we're done cutting. So stand by and we'll get this thing going. Okay, so I got the tailstock in with a bullnose center, just for a little extra rigidity. And then I stuck in a dial gauge and moved it back and forth. Come on, Joe, point. Moved it back and forth until this was at its maximum, which means now I know I'm centered over the spindle, or under the spindle rather. And then we zeroed up the DRO. So now we'll take this out, put the cutter in there, and get it going here. I think I'll do it in 2 passes. I got a 1/4 inch carbide mill, 4 flute. We'll spin it fast, and we'll see how we do. Alright, so we'll see how that goes. Give me my cutting oil here. think we'll revise our depth of cut. It's a little too aggressive. Let's try 50 thou. It's 100. $150. she's done. So we'll get it out of here. Now I got a lot of work to do with the file, but we'll get it out of here and we'll roughly deburr it, and then we'll try it out and see if it locks up. Stand by. Okay, so here's our piece. Gave it a quick blast on the wire wheel. It's not as razor sharp as it was when it came off the mill, but here's how it fits. And now you can see how this can turn independently, but when I flip this lever, come on. Oh. Okay, now you can see how it's locked in. So this is how you adjust the tension on the collet. And then when you get it just right, you lock it like that, and then nothing can turn. Now I still have to put the grub screw in the side here to lock this to the spindle, but yeah, we're getting a lot closer now. Alright, she's done. Got the block for the pivot. So this is how this works. Let me show you how this works. So, I don't know if you can see that, but the collet is moving a very slight amount when I do this. That's closed and that's open. When it's open, I can take some stuff out. When it's closed, can't do it. So, there's about 600 on your AM dial. Okay. You can turn that right now. You pull this, pull it out, put another piece in, close the collet, and that's it. Okay, we'll show you the pieces. Now, pull this out. And then you can turn this. This is unscrewing the tube from the back of the collet. Okay, and then this comes out. Okay, this is the piece we made. So what these things allow you to do is adjust it and then lock it. Okay, and I got a hole here. I take my handy dandy wrench. This might be kind of difficult to do one-handed, but see what right there. So we'll unscrew that. I got 3 of them in here at 120. Okay, now this should come off. Here's our piece. You can see that's right on the bore there, right in the center. So that's it. That's how you make a collet closer. Or a piece for a collet closer anyways. Came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Thanks for watching.